I had 2 back surgeries, and the last back surgery, after surgery, I was in as much pain as I was prior to surgery. The first one was because of yoga, and then I have herniated discs, and I didn't know that you can not do 3 sessions of yoga in one day at a yoga retreat. And that was L5S1. And then as the years went on, it just gradually, the pain kept going up and up. I tried every type of treatment possible. Anything anyone said, I tried. If it was like jumping on one leg, I would do that. And then 2 people I know had gone to Barefoot, so I called and made an appointment.
In 2014, Jamie had her first microdiscectomy at L5S1. In 2019, Jamie had her second microdiscectomy at L4, L5. She came into our office in May 2020, about 6 months after her second surgery, and said, I'm not sure what to do. I already had my second disc operated on. What's going on?
Pain is not fun at all. No one can function on pain on the daily, and it was miserable. It ruined my life. And so I was willing to do anything and everything that I could do to alleviate that pain for me. I'm too young to live in constant pain for the rest of my life. I've seen chiropractors, I went to acupuncturists, a massage therapist, that cryo freeze. I was seeing a chiropractor every day. I couldn't go to the gym, I couldn't wear high heels, I couldn't do my almost day-to-day living. I was dating someone, we were living out of my apartment basically. I was dating in my apartment because I was in too much pain to go out. I just wanted to come home and lay down.
Well, let's talk about the degeneration of discs. The most common disc to get degenerated is L5S1. See that little smushed red disc? That's the L5S1 disc. It's not happy. All the other green discs are happy. So she had this disc degenerate, which is the most common disc to degenerate in all human beings, just because it's the one that takes the most stress. And because of that, this is the one that needed the surgery. Then after 5 years, because this disc couldn't handle the stress anymore, and this is typically what happens when people get the surgery, is this little green disc at L4, L5 was no longer happy either, and this got smushed too. So in 2019, she ended up needing surgery for this. So in theory, if she doesn't do something to take stress off of the next levels, this will just work her way up and further degenerate her discs.
Dr. Chris made me feel comfortable. He knew probably that it was like my first time kind of seeing a different doctor than what I'm used to, and he made me feel comfortable and safe and explained things if I had questions. I didn't feel stupid asking a question. He made me feel comfortable, and I was seeing him twice a week for a number of weeks in the beginning.
Now, fortunately, what happens when people have disc issues or any low back pain at all is as we start putting stress on the discs, we also start getting different amounts of adhesion in the muscles. This is the multifidus muscle, this is the longissimus muscle, this is iliocostalis, this is QL. This is just a simple diagram, don't make fun of my art. So what happens is as we start getting older in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, this disc starts taking more stress. We start getting little squiggles in here, little bits of adhesion all throughout the low back musculature that starts building and building and building. And what happens when we have this adhesion is the muscles get glued down. They become tight, they become weak. They can't handle the stress that starts getting put on the muscles. And what happens is these discs end up taking even more of a beating because these muscles can't do their job and take further stress. So she came into Barefoot Rehab and she was wondering, is there anything else I can do? Fortunately, upon the exam, we found massive amounts of adhesion all throughout these spots in her low back and also in her belly muscles and her psoas.
So Dr. Nikos, this is the second time I'm seeing him.
So right now I'm working on a different structure called the joint capsule, and the way the joint capsules are shaped in this bottom level, go ahead and crunch up, I am able to get the greatest amount of tension by going this way than going that way. That's the only structure that we treat from reverse. All the other joint capsules we treat this way because they're shaped differently. This one's very unique in the way that it is shaped, so we go from reverse.
He's like, you have a lot of adhesions. And I was like, so from your Instagram, from what I remember hearing, the adhesion goes out through when you urinate. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, so it doesn't really come back. He was like, no, but over time it will. And I was like, oh, so mine just comes back a lot. He's like, everyone is different. But mine, it was in my glutes today, and that's where it was a lot of my pain prior to surgery and post-surgery. So that's what he treated today. And again, I asked Dr. Nico questions. The assistants are perfectly helpful, asking questions, like they checking on me and seeing how I'm doing, and again, feeling comfortable. So it didn't matter who I worked with at the office. I wanted to let him know, thank you for explaining that, because I was second guessing him because he was somebody new that I was seeing. And I said to him today, I said, I really didn't need to see you. I said, but since it was so severe last time that I almost came home from my Aruba vacation early because I was in that much pain. I felt that he said, come in 2 weeks. He really wanted me in 1 week, but I said no. So he said 2 weeks. And I said, I will see you. He's like, you're good with your follow-up. When you need me kind of thing, call me.
And over about 20 treatments, we removed all the adhesion, and she was about 70% better overall. Since then, she comes in once every couple of months for maintenance, and she goes between 70 to 100% relief. Sometimes she has little bits of flare-ups. It depends what she's doing, and she's really pushing her body. But we're able to maintain her largely symptom-free. And as long as she continues to keep all of these muscles mostly adhesion-free, guess what? They stay strong and they do their job, which means that these discs will stay happy and healthy for most of her life as she continues to get older and ages. So just because somebody has a microdiscectomy or somebody's had fusion doesn't mean they still can't get relief by getting the adhesion removed.
I feel great that I'm like, now it's time to go back to the gym. Carefully, be conscious, and I might like pay someone to do like meal plans, and because I'm vegan and I just want to tone up a little bit more, right? So I feel good, which makes me want to work out more, and I'm not in pain. And so as long as you have someone, I have my team. And Barefoot's part of that team for me and will always be. If you've been in so much pain and you've said you've tried everything and have not tried Barefoot, then you need to try Barefoot, because they'll tell you if they can help you or not. And even 75% better, which is what I think they originally told me where I could be at, I'll never be 100% because I had surgery. But 75% better living is better than where I was before. At 25%, my life's too important for that, not to. I totally would recommend Barefoot. Like I said, when I talk to people in my community, my crystal community and everything like that, and they're local to New Jersey, and I say, like local enough where it's not a plane ride for them, that some people would think that's too far. They're in Parlin, they're in Sayreville. I say to them, go. People will be worried about insurance. Again, like I've paid more for Barefoot than I had for my back surgery, but I came out of my back surgery in pain. Could I have avoided surgery and not had it and just seen Barefoot? Maybe, maybe not. But next time if there's a problem that's severe, I would come here first and have them evaluate me first. I have to still be careful because it's back injury. It's not something that was a scar and they stitched me up and I'm fine. I always have to be conscious of things. I have to be careful lifting, but I know if something does flare up, I come in and I get treatment and the adhesion goes away and the pain goes away.